people across the country who have been so diminished by the acrimonious Nigerian circumstance that haven't given up the idea of their lives having any meaning at all. They now waste whatever is left of their lives on all shades of narcotics and drugs. With regards to the ravages of corruption, it is indeed most lamentable that while the generality of Nigerians are groaning under the weight of ever-worsening economic fortunes, to which the government of the day has no answers, the sensibilities of Nigerians are insulted by what has become a string of daily revelations of monumental corruption or the reckless looting of state resources to the tune of hundreds of billions of naira, involving high-ranking officials of a government that rose to power on the back of an aggressive anti-corruption propaganda. As the government is daily borrowing money from foreign creditors, expending over 90% of its earnings on debt servicing, and ensuring that generations yet unborn will be carrying the burden of these ill-advised loans, agents of the same government are looting away the borrowed funds and squandering them in a life of debauchery, abandoning the mass of people to dehumanizing poverty, bankrupting the moral fabric of the nation, and leaving the social infrastructure in a state of utter decay. Corruption has become so institutionalized and so normalized that nearly every position of leadership is poisoned and polluted. True, Nigeria is today one giant asylum. We seem to have habituated and normalized all the indices of insanity, though we keep going around wearing the mask of sanity. But sane societies do not behave the way we do. The Nigerian ruling class is perhaps among the most opportunistic and rapacious ruling classes in the world, constantly reinventing and reinvigorating itself and seizing every opportunity to violate and devalue the people they claim to serve. They have so shamelessly exploited the people's poverty, so callously manipulated their illiteracy, and so brazenly weaponized their ignorance that it is not at all in the interest of this ruling class to make any serious investment in quality education for the people. No wonder schools and colleges and universities could be shut down for many months and the leaders will just carry on business as usual, as if nothing is amiss. But let me seize this unique opportunity to remind the unrepentant conquerors of the Nigerian people that islands of affluence cannot coexist for long amidst a sea of destitution. Yes, those who are smiling to the bank after putting us in this mess must be reminded that in the process of evolution, if any species is overhunting and overexploiting the very resources they depend upon as nourishment, sooner or later, natural selection would take the predator out and restore some measure of equilibrium. What is restructuring? Restructuring is a demand for the rule of law and equal citizenship, in short. Many of those who cry of marginalization today indeed do have a case. Across the country, there are very clear instances of the abuse and violation of the federal character principle as contained in Chapter 2 of the 1999 Constitution. In the last few years, we have witnessed bare-faced and brazen acts of nepotism and sectionalism, whereby federating units are not treated equally. Rewards and particularly sanctions are not applied equally if and when they are. And appointments to the leadership position of critical organs and agencies of government are seen by many as often in blatant and reckless disregard for equity and justice. The apparent lack of political will to crush the marauding bandits across the country and the near absence of any sanctions for the criminal herders that are terrorizing the population across the country, for example, have so utterly divided and polarized the Nigerian population, have sown so much discord among the people who have lived together for generations. Yes, these perceived acts of injustice on the part of government have so terribly induced and elevated political tension across the country and precipitated so much distrust and resentment towards the leadership that indeed today we cannot continue to speak of the unity of Nigeria as non-negotiable with any measure of seriousness. Our unity is indeed negotiable and subject to review, since we claim that ours is a democratic union, and democracy only finds expression in the mutual acknowledgement of the right of self-determination. See Article 1 of the UN Charter and Article 20 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Justice and the rule of law are the first conditions of humanity. The law is the anchor upon which the entire system of society revolves. The widespread damage, the widespread demand for restructuring could be seen as a blanket cover for several grievances bordering on the impression that we do not all enjoy equal citizenship. Yes, that in Nigeria there are super citizens on the one hand who often make up the ruling class, who enjoy many rights and privileges, and non-citizens on the other, whose experience of the state is that of pain and distress.